Thank you so much. We did it.
Meet the next mayor. Less than 24 hours after claiming victory, Marty Walsh tells me how he's preparing to take office. And what about that phone call from President Obama? Plus, the no votes have it, but it's still not clear whether East Boston will get a casino. And from obscurity in life to celebrity in death, the world through the lens of Vivian Maier, now on Greater Boston. Good evening. After being subjected to weeks of campaigning, canvassing, and cajoling, the voters have spoken. The only problem, the message wasn't totally clear. What we do know is Marty Walsh will be the next mayor of Boston. But north in Lawrence, just 60 votes separate apparent winner Dan Rivera from incumbent William Lantigua. Another dicey outcome, the casino referendum in East Boston and Revere. Eastie voters didn't just reject the idea of building a casino at Suffolk Downs, they crushed it, 56% to 44%. Casino opponents insist that victory was decisive, but proponents are already talking about building in Revere, where the measure passed. WGBH political reporter Adam Riley has more.
In East Boston's Maverick Square this morning, there were lingering signs of the Suffolk Downs casino fight, a fight the opponents now seem to have won. And most of the people we spoke with said that was for the best.
I didn't want to put up with all the traffic construction and just everything that went along with this.
It'll draw riffraff as far as I'm concerned there. There's enough riffraff going around.
Jesse Purvis organized for the group No Eastie Casino. He says the abrupt exit of Caesars Entertainment from the Suffolk Downs proposal was a big reason for the lopsided win.
We had the right ideas and we had the right information and the right people out there. I think we were still going to win it anyway, but I do think that was the point in which the momentum started to shift in our favor.
Because Suffolk Downs straddles the East Boston Revere line, the casino plan isn't entirely dead yet. Suffolk Downs COO Chip Tuttle says a casino could be built entirely in Revere. For casino supporters, that's cause for some lingering hope.
I voted yes.
Why?
Because I think it would have gave us jobs, and my mother's worked there for 36 years, so now she might be out of a job.
But to opponents, the prospect of a casino comeback seems far-fetched.
I think it's a Hail Mary. I think they're reaching for straws. Majority of their hope is gone. And I would, in this situation, I would do the same thing, but I think they have no chance. I think they're pretty much all but done.
Maybe not, but the odds don't look good.
My first guest has been a vocal opponent of proposed casinos across Massachusetts. Scott Harshbarger is the former state attorney general. And we should also say that we extended an invitation to Suffolk Downs CEO Chip Tuttle, but he was unable to come this afternoon. So you've got to feel good about this.
No, I think it was a great victory and stunning, surprising, the fact that the people in East Boston, and not only in East Boston, Emily, but Palmer, Western Massachusetts, organizing for months with no money but lots of drive and determination to make sure the people had a chance to vote, won decisively. I mean, I was prepared to come here if I was invited and explain why, look, it's still very close. Look how close it was. And we lost, but yet we're going to keep fighting with the repeal effort and that kind of thing. So this was a very decisive victory and not the first of these efforts around the state. It's very reaffirming of the people's organization.
Yeah, I mean, what were the factors that went into this? I mean, I know there was a religious component, kind of a moral component, but it went on that. We heard this guy go, we don't need any more riffraff. And was there also skepticism, do you think, about whether, A, it would bring the jobs, and B, whether it would bring the state the revenue? I don't know if they particularly cared about that, but was there?
I think there was. What's fascinating to me is the more people know, the more they learn, the less they support it. It's harder to sell only the positive promises of jobs, of revenue short term. And people begin to look at the costs because we're not the first state in the union, surprisingly, to have this. You look at other states, casinos have not produced all the intended benefits. Maybe we should. Maybe they want to have them, but they're not the economic solution. Guy Bill Walczak made that so clear in the campaign that there are other alternatives, and especially for economic development in East Boston. And that's what the citizens group played on. The second piece, I think, was pointed out by one of the speakers here. Caesars. I mean, this is like a false promise. This is like consumer protection. What am I buying here? Am I buying a problem, more problems? It's not crystal clear. So I think a very intelligent vote. And I noticed, for example, people voted very specifically on this issue because Sal Lementina, a state rep who supported the casino, won overwhelmingly. I mean, and they voted for Marty Walsh, who was very clearly for the casino. So folks were clearly voting against a casino in East Boston.
But the Revere folks voted for it. And we'll put that map up again that Adam used in his piece, because 53 acres of this proposed casino site, which is all part of Suffolk Downs, you can see there, is in Revere. It's possible that they could smush it and twist it around and maybe make the parcel a little bit smaller. And then Boston would lose out entirely on the revenue side and a lot of the jobs, and Eastie would still get the traffic.
No, but let's back up. And there's a law here, and we luckily have adult supervision in the Mass Gaming Commission. And they're going to look at this very hard and say, wait a minute, you mean in 6 weeks you can cobble together a world-class casino that you promised East Boston and Boston? You mean you're going to be able to work a detailed deal with Revere? You have to review that deal. You're going to have to talk about a surrounding community deal with Boston. You may pick up other aspects of that. And more importantly, you're facing real competition here. This is like, you've got a casino in Everett being proposed. You have one in Milford. So what's fascinating to me is the folks who support casinos say, we'll play by any rules you want. Well, the Massachusetts legislature, as you know, I opposed this bill, but they produced a quality piece of legislation, and they have a quality performance by the Gaming Commission. And this is now suddenly, all of a sudden, casinos are saying, wait, we're somehow entitled to our casino in this area. Why are we entitled to it?
All right, so forget Revere. What happens if it goes to Everett? They have voted for it. And some of the same problems that I just said for Revere are going to happen. There's going to be spillover effects for Boston, Revere, frankly, the whole North Shore.
But that's true in Western Massachusetts, too. Springfield has approved a casino. They still have to go through the suitability test at MGM.
But they don't have the congestion.
But here's what's really interesting. But they needed the jobs more than anybody did, and they voted for other kinds of economic development. Look, this is an issue. The law was, this could have been the whole city voting on this, remember. The law was passed so that East Boston voted. And frankly, that was passed because they thought they had a bag job. They thought they could ram it through there with no opposition, with all the other attendant problems. Yes, all these impact problems exist, whether it's in Everett or Revere or Boston. And that's why, in general, we've opposed this, because the problems that come with this are going to hit the region. There are other economic opportunities that could work here.
But what could work at Suffolk Downs?
Here's hard to vote. Here's hard. The people voted. We wouldn't be having this discussion from Suffolk Downs explaining why they only won by 2% and therefore to come out here if they had won this thing. The rules are being changed. The spin is going the other way. The fact of the matter is it was a remarkable, resounding victory by the people, and they're sending a message. They're saying, are we sure that this is the economic policy for Massachusetts? That's what Bill Walczak said.
Bill Walczak wants to make it an innovation center. Is that realistic?
Well, in Massachusetts, for years, part of the issue has been, why Massachusetts? We have life sciences, health care, education, biotech, high tech. We can really have long-term economic development. Look at Joe Curtatone in Somerville, John Mitchell in New Bedford. These are mayors that are building long-term economic development. It's a sad commentary on our public policy, Emily, that we only go to casinos. If you want casinos, hey, fine. That's for entertainment. But let's not only sell as the only way to get jobs and economic development. That is, unfortunately, a common in our leadership.
Scott Harshberger, I must feel good to win something.
Finally. Yes, it is.